Wubba lubba dub dub motherfuckers. What is going on, everyone? It is I. It is everyone's favorite jack of all trades with a foul mouth, common to urban. And welcome back to another awesome fucking video, guys. Really do appreciate it. And before I do dive in this bitch, one big special shout out to all of you guys, my viewers, my subscribers, for sticking around watching this shit. It's the reason why I fucking do is for all of you guys, so yeah. As you can see behind me, we have a backdrop of several items, including my large 1/200 scale model of the legendary battleship Arizona, as well as a copy of the book Pearl Harbor, A Day of Infamy, an illustrated edition, and the legendary tell-all story At Dawn We Slept, the untold story of Pearl Harbor by Gordon W. Prang, in my 1/428th scale model of Arizona by Revell. And the reason why I'm fucking showing all of this is because today, guys, is December the 7th of 2025. This is the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, the attack on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese on the American Pacific battleship fleet. And it happened at 8 o'clock, around 8 something this morning is when the attack would have happened. And many ships were destroyed, a lot of planes were destroyed, and a lot of men were killed, including over half the men killed that day were on the Arizona. And it's just a very, very solemn thing. As you can see here in this book, I'll show you guys a map. You can see here's the ships and all their arrangements. See? This kind of shows you an idea of where everything was located the day when the attack started. And like I said, the attack happened roughly around 8 o'clock or something that morning. Oh, yeah, see? Came in through. Say, it was a total fucking surprise. It was around 7:40, so 20 till 8, when the attack first started. Like I said, there was just tons and tons of fucking chaos. So much chaos, so much horror. So here's the first wave. Picture of the Utah. Picture of the wreck of the Utah she sits. See, this is a painting of Oklahoma as she rolled over and sank. A big fireball right there, that's Arizona. There's Maryland. I think West Virginia, Tennessee, there's Vestal, because there's Maryland, Oklahoma, because it shows you I was right. There's Tennessee was on the inside, West Virginia's on the outside, but that's Battleship Row. And there's Arizona, right before the bomb, right when the bomb drops. Like I said, it was definitely, as President Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, it's a day that would live on in infamy. So I wanted to read for the 84th anniversary of this horrible incident. I actually wanted to read a little bit of eyewitness testimony, and not just eyewitness testimony, a survivor from the Arizona, which sadly now as of 2025, all the survivors from Arizona are sadly deceased and they're no longer with us. But this gentleman wrote a book. His name was Donald Stratton, and the book is titled All the Gallant Men. I want to read a little bit of his comments from the attack of Pearl Harbor and the explosion of the ship. says right here, Zeros strafe the ship, their bullets ripping up the deck and shredding any sailors who were on it. With each pass, the Japanese pilots smiled or waved or made some other mocking gesture. The smug bastards. The whole lot of them were cowards and murderers. Without a declaration of war, they waged war on us. Without warning, without mercy, without conscience, they shot at us as if we were ducks in a barrel, enjoying it as schoolboys would an arcade game at the circus. We took another hit, which thundered through the ship. It struck the starboard side right beside the number 2 turret, but it didn't explode. At the same time, I saw 2 torpedo wakes heading directly toward us. I braced for the impact, which never came. Another lucky break, I thought, until seconds later. 8:06 a.m. A great sucking sound, like a whoosh, rocked the ship and everyone in it with concussion force. A 1,760-pound armor-piercing bomb dropped from 10,000 feet above had penetrated 4 steel decks to the ammunition locker. The blast blew the number 1 turret into the air where it came crashing back onto the deck. A plume of black smoke spewed out of the forward smokestack, and an expanding fireball shot 500 to 600 feet into the air, engulfing those of us and the director. Yeah. And then there was another thing on here. The blast blew across Ford Island, knocking people off their feet and threw dozens of men off the Nevada into the harbor. Strangely enough, wrote historian Gordon W. Prang, which he wrote at time we slept, the explosion that destroyed Arizona's Say Vestal. The concussion put out her fires as though a giant candle snuffer had been clapped over her. It also sent tons of debris down her decks, parts of the ship, legs, arms, and heads of men, all sorts of bodies, even living men. The explosion flung overboard about 100 men from the Vestal. The force of the blast shattered the decks of the Tennessee with tons of twisted metal, including the twisted parts of our men who, in one shearing moment, had their souls torn from them. In fact, debris from the Arizona that rained down on the Tennessee caused more damage than the 2 bombs dropped on her by the Japanese. The carnage rained onto other ships into Ford Island and onto our own ship. God. It's just... Right here, there's another thing that really got me. It was just men stumbled around on the deck like human torches, each collapsing into a flaming pile of flesh. Others jumped into the water. When they did, you could hear them sizzle. James Corey, one of the Marines on board, recalled what he saw from the quarterdeck. These people were zombies in essence. They were burned completely white. Their skin was just white, as if you'd taken a bucket of whitewash and painted it white. Their hair was brushed off, their eyebrows were burned off. Their arms were held away from their bodies, and they were dumping over along the decks. While the horrific scene was unfolding below us, billows of black smoke pushed into where we were, stinging our eyes, filling our nostrils, our throats, our lungs. We stumbled to our feet, coughing out smoke, unable to catch our breath because the fire had also burned off our oxygen. I mean... it's just... right here. And this is after he escaped off the Arizona. It says, as I looked back at the harbor billowing furiously with smoke, seeing the Pacific Fleet destroyed where they were moored, staring at the collapsed remains of the Arizona engulfed in flames, the devastating sweep over was too much. At that moment, I knew I'd lost part of myself in the ruins of that ship, and a big part of my family and the men who died there. I turned my head. I had to look away from the ship, from the once majestic form that had taken my breath away while I first saw her, from my home filled with so much life less than an hour before, and I had to turn away from my shipmates, from the future that no longer awaited them, and from a part of myself that now would forever entombed in with them. God, that's some powerful words, man. I mean, very, very powerful words. God, I don't know, it's terrifying. Very, very terrifying. You know, I salute Mr. Stratton for recalling them events in this book so we can have them for future generations. And I also salute all the men of the Arizona and all of the men that were there that day at Pearl Harbor, because there was no fucking way in hell that should have never happened. That should have never happened. Should have never happened, but war is hell, guys, and this is the reason why we have to remember things like this. Because if we don't remember the past, we will fucking repeat it. So that's why I say, guys, on this day, as we are sitting here talking about this horrible event, let's take a moment just to pause and reflect on what happened, and also to the men who died, not just the men who died, but also the men who lived, and the men who are still living to this day, that could recall the horrible events of December the 7th of 1941. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching my 84th anniversary tribute to the attack of Pearl Harbor. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'll get back with you. And until next time, this is Commodore Urban, saying a smooth seas and clear skies, and happy sailing with you. God bless you all. Take care. Stay safe. Be yourselves. Jesus and the good Lord love you all very much. Until next time, I'll catch you all on trade one hailing one knows. Anchors away, motherfuckers, and remember Pearl Harbor, and God bless those men. They deserve it. May they rest in peace. Thank you.